an ongoing investigation involving a couple of incidences involving shootings, chase, and the loss of a life. And this incident started actually last night at about 11:30. Officers responded to the 5000 block of Santiago Lane in reference to a subject shot. Arriving at the scene, learned that a couple were sitting inside of a vehicle. This couple that's described as a boyfriend and girlfriend. The boyfriend happens to be employed with the United States Border Patrol. He's identified as 44-year-old Juan Hernandez. They were parked in front of the residence there talking, at which point, what we do know is that the couple's been dating for about 6 weeks. And at that point, the girlfriend's ex-boyfriend showed up and parked his vehicle in a manner to confront this couple. And just for our information, is this the boyfriend, who's identified as a suspect, 21-year-old Jesse Garcia. The suspect came out of his vehicle and confronted the couple on the driver's side with a weapon in hand, a pistol. Mr. Hernandez then, at that point, as his window is rolling down, being confronted by the suspect sticks his pistol into the vehicle, the cabin area. At that point, a struggle ensued with the victim getting out of the vehicle, trying to disarm the suspect, at which point he actually did. But however, during this struggle, the agent, Hernandez, actually lost his own weapon to the suspect. So basically they disarmed each other during the struggle. The suspect then, immediately upon taking the agent's gun, shot the agent, striking him in the in the hip area. The suspect then got into his vehicle and fled. Of course, the lookout was placed, multi-agency lookouts, as is standard in these situations. Shortly thereafter, about a half an hour later, just past midnight, a couple of sheriff's deputies found the suspect vehicle in the area of Minnesota Avenue, which is on the city's east side, and after an attempt to stop him, were unsuccessful. The suspect fled the area and then drove to back towards Camelia Street, which is close to where the original incident occurred. That's what we understand is the suspect's residence. That's the 5000 block. This is where the suspect then exits his vehicle, and as the deputies are trying to approach the suspect, he opens fire on them. He starts discharging in their direction, and of course at this point, Brownsville police officers are also arriving on scene. And all in all, there were 3 officers, 2 deputies, and a Brownsville police officer that engaged the suspect as he is shooting at officers. At this point, a woman identified as 56-year-old Maria Jesse Garcia comes out of her residence, and she happens to be the mother of the suspect. Sometime during this incident, she was struck by a bullet during the shootout, and shortly thereafter she died as a result of the suspect was also shot, and shortly thereafter was taken into custody. He was also rushed to a local hospital. We understand he's now being guarded in critical but stable condition. The Border Patrolman is recovering also, and of course, we have the victim who's deceased.
Chief, do you know who fired the shot that killed Mrs. Garcia?
This is all still an investigation. We want to make sure with 100% certainty, based on there's a lot of tests that have to be done. And I just want to emphasize one thing. When these things happen, when people make decisions to take certain steps, certain actions, they pretty much dictate what happens and how law enforcement will react. Obviously this is a situation that nobody likes to see happen. Actually, there were more than one Brownsville police officer, but as far as that engaged, at least 3. Of course, again, there's still information that we put together, but there were more officers on scene than those actual 3 that were involved in the shootout with the suspect.
What about number of shots fired?
That is, we don't even, that's still preliminary. We have to do a lot of work at putting all that together.
Now, the weapon that the Border Patrol agent had, was that his service weapon?
I want to be, until I have documentation, I can't say with 100% certainty. I'd like to believe that it was, but I don't want to go on record and say it was until I actually have something in front of me that says yes.
And do you believe that suspect that he shot the agent with the Border Patrol agent's weapon?
That's exactly what happened. There was a struggle at the location. The suspect, as the Border Patrolman, was defending himself, and of course, the lady that was with him, he was trying to disarm the suspect. At that point, he was disarmed himself. It was a very strange occurrence, but that's what happened. And at that point, the suspect immediately shot the agent, and then left the scene.
With the agent's gun?